We chose Dick Dale because he was an enormous favourite of John's. He loved his live gigs, loved listening to his records. It was just, he was always put him in a good mood. We're really grateful because Dick actually has huge health problems, but he was still willing to do a telephone interview for The Space.
I'm a 55-year-old man, so since I saw the Open Keshin Children's Choir at the Liverpool Stadium when I was about, 12 years old, something like that, I've been to loads and loads and loads of gigs, and, I stopped counting at about 27,500, and there have been some perfectly extraordinary ones. Captain Beefheart in Hollywood, Elastica at Reading, The Faces in Sunderland, The Undertones in Huddersfield, and this week on Wednesday night, there was one to match them all, and it featured this man.
John respected me because I've never had alcohol in my body in my life. I've never put a drug in my body in my life. I don't smoke. I haven't eaten red meat in 60 years. And I'm 75 now, and I'm still kicking butt.
While I was thinking, actually, one of the few times in my life that I've ever wished that I had a television programme, because I'd like to put Dick Dale on that as well, because you can be sure that he won't be on television. I mean, there's any number of pathetic and hopeless human beings who will be boring people, well, actually, probably not boring people, Reggie, but, I mean, people who, frankly, have been on there so many times before that it doesn't seem much point in having them on there again. And you've got Dick Dale comes along, and he's a man who does something which nobody else can do. People can get close to it, and people can make do an approximation of it, but nobody else, rather like Hendrix, nobody else can do what he does, and really, people should see it. It's absolutely astonishing.
When I first went to Europe, many years ago, I was told, John Peel is in the audience, John Peel is in the audience, what? And I go, well, who's John Peel? And, I said, well, that's nice, and I left it like that, and I did my concert. Well, after the concert was over, I noticed that there was a gentleman standing by the wall, and just standing there. And he walked up to me and he said, excuse me, my name was John Peel. He said, when I heard and watched you with that guitar, it grabbed me right through my chest. And he said, it held me here and it wouldn't let me go. And that's why I'm still standing here. It just seemed like two souls came together. But we just had that feeling. And it remained that way. There wasn't a time I didn't go to Europe that I wasn't told to come to the BBC because John wanted me there.
As you could tell before when I was talking about it previously, I was getting really choked up. It was absolutely extraordinary. And I'm not alone in this because I got a fax, which I've just taken off the machine from Adrian Baines. And it says, Dear John Peel, I just had to write and say thanks for introducing me to the music of Dick Dale. When I heard he was coming to the UK, I was both excited and slightly concerned. I really hoped he wouldn't turn out to be some old cabaret act. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Wednesday night at the Garage was one of those special performances like Diblo Dabala at Subterranea, when the venue, the crowd, the go-go dancers and the band just well surfed. What a night. We drove back to Rugby completely deaf and grinning from ear to ear. Well, I entirely agree with that assessment, except I didn't go back to Rugby afterwards, of course. I can't tell you how utterly wonderful it was.